This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
My bad. Welcome to Chicago. You tune in into the TCSF podcast with Big Z, coming straight to you from the 606 Media Studios, powered by True Chicago sports fans. This is episode 314, something like that. I don't even know. But we're fired up to dive into everything that makes Chicago great. Remember to check out 606media.com, your ultimate source for all things Chicago. Swing by at 606media.com to snag your official podcast t-shirt and our For the Love of Sports merchandise line. Really cool stuff out there. Nike tank tops, Nike tech material tank tops. There's softball looking shirts. There's all types of cool stuff out there. Check it out. Go ahead and show off your Chicago pride by supporting us. If you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that the bell so that way you get notifications when we are live. And again, Bears season is upon us, so we'll be alive a lot more. So way more content for you to consume. So go ahead and subscribe on the YouTube. Hit that Facebook, subscribe, some stars on there on Facebook too. That'll help us out. And if you're listening on your podcast app, remember to leave us a 5-star review. It means the world to us. And again, while you're here at 606media.com, go ahead and check out Imponticated with myself, Big Z. We dive into deep conversations, engaging discussions, and insightful interviews. I am lining up some interviews right after this and see how fast I can get these out to you. So it's going to be a fun time. Strap it in. Let's get ready for an unforgettable ride through the best of Chicago sports culture and beyond. Let's get started with my favorite team. That's right. The first place White Sox, who are, I believe, 2.5 starting today in the lead of the AL Central. 4 games up in the loss column. That's the important column to be worried about. They're playing the Yankees right now. They are winning 3-0. It's top of the second. So, again, take that with a grain of salt. But there was some lineup changes. What did they do today? They activated somebody. Gerchik is leading off, which is crazy against his own former team, right? Montgomery is still mending, but he is in the DH spot today. He got hit. He hit himself again with a foul ball in the same leg that he fouled the ball like 3-4 days ago, just a couple of more inches higher. So he won't be playing the field, but he is DHing. Everson Pereira got activated, so he's joining the team. They did make a move, and they did trade for where am I at? Trades. I just had it on top of my head. I just lost it. For Jose Urquidy, who went over to AAA. So it might be some more depth to have down there, maybe when they pull up Hagen Smith or someone else, another pitcher that might be called up. Because, the White Sox do need some help on the hitting side. They did drop 2 out of 3 to the Astros this past weekend. Definitely was not something that I expected them to do, but it was a nice surprise to end that series with a 12-3 victory. Murakami on his bobblehead day had his parents throw out the first pitch, hits a home run early in the game, and then hits one in an eighth. He's back. It's taken him 2 weeks, probably the longest stretch without a home run since he came up to the White Sox. So the idea is that this White Sox team not only kept afloat while he was on the IL, they showed their true colors and their growth. Vargas has been the leader, definitely a leader in the clubhouse, a leader on the field, definitely a guy that they can lean to when they're going for a slump. Now, it's baseball. You're going to have whole team going on a slump, guys going on slumps, guys going on runs. And Murakami, when he starts hitting those home runs, they usually come in bunches. So yesterday, that was one. 2 games, 2 home run game for him. He had 6 ribbies, and we need him to carry the second half. He was out for a month. He's got to carry the the load and help out the rest of the guys now and keep them in first place all the way through. Get that number one seed, get that bye, because there's no longer a are we rebuilding? It's time to start pushing for the playoffs, and you got a lot of young guys who definitely do not think about yesterday, don't think about tomorrow. They're all in the present, and they take care of what's in front of them, and it looks good. Looks really good. What I need is pitching. What I need is pitching. I need someone to step up on the pitching side. Definitely need some help there. That's really what I'm looking for. One, they're going to be looking for on the trade deadline. We're going to need some pitching there. We need a starter, one starter at minimum. Bullpen help. You've had Dominguez demoted to like the sixth inning at this point. I know he came in late for the blowout, but you don't really care if he gives up a run or two. You definitely need some pitching on the south side to help them out. It's definitely something that, I mean, every team's looking for pitching. There's about 9 teams looking for pitching at this moment. So you're going to be competing. So Chris Getz is going to have to, and Chris Getz and company definitely have to do their homework and be able to be flexible with maybe trading somebody from the top 10 that you have in the minor leagues, your top 10 prospects. Now, it's not going to be Chalosky. Obviously, that Hagen Smith hasn't even had a cup of coffee up here. We'll see who that could be. I mean, and that should be the main story right there, that no one's really untouchable in the minor leagues. I know there's some couple guys out there, like Caleb Bonham, and there's some other outfielders and shortstops they have. They have a plethora of shortstops. But if they're in Double A and you send to some of those guys, they may pan out, they may not. You cannot fall in love with your prospects. And I know we've all been doing that, right? We did that with the Cubs when they had all the prospects, with the White Sox for the first rebuild that they did. All those prospects were coming up together, and everyone fell in love with all those guys. You could have made some moves to get better pitching or some more veterans on the team to round out that team. So again, they need pitching. They're considered top 10 in power rankings. I get that. That's great. But when those bats go cold, or when you're playing a 1-0 game and you're trying to come back, pitching is what's going to define what you guys are doing. And that's going to be one of the major things for the White Sox. So what else I got here for my White Sox? Murakami, Vargas, young core. Yep, cover all of that. Bullpen consistency. Again, Newcomb has been great for us. There's been a bunch of unsung heroes that have been able to do the job well, but you're looking at your Fetties, like sometimes he's good, sometimes he's bad. You're looking at Shane Smith. I'm just gonna say Shane Smith. Looking at some of these pitchers, is like, can they continue to grow and be better and understand what they need to do to get there? And again, it's a young team. We'll see what they can do. Like this weekend, the pitching matchups are going to be are crazy. Let me pull up the game for today right now. We've got, there's a Max Fried for the Yankees going. He's already given up 3 runs. And then for the White Sox, come on. For the White Sox today, we got Noah Schultz. Again, Noah Schultz can be lights out, but his off-speed stuff is suspect at best. He's got a great fastball when he can locate it, but his off-speed stuff is very suspect, and he's going to need another year of seasoning before he can actually contribute and dominate. So it's going to be a struggle for the White Sox going through the Cleveland. They still have 2 more series with Cleveland, one at home, one away, and that may be the deciding factor. Also, what is Cleveland going to do at the trade deadline? I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll be buying. So it's going to be a definite second half that's going to be exciting for the White Sox, because I really feel like this team is really gelling at the right time, but they do have the hardest part of the schedule as they get to the trade deadline. They've got 4 against the Yankees. Then they got 3 against the Rays away. And then they got 3 against Boston. And then they come home for the Guardians for 3. And that'll be the 7th, 8th, and 9th. And the 8th is Ozzie Guillen retirement, the day they retire his number. So I will definitely be in the building for that one. But they have a very hard part of the schedule. You know, Boston was hot. They won 15 straight. I don't know what they're at right now, but that's a team that went from being a complete seller to now knocking on the door in the standings. They are 7.5 behind. They go on another run, they'll be right there with the Yankees and the Rays. So right now, what the White Sox need to be doing is looking at the Orioles, looking at the Blue Jays staff. Who can they take off their hands? I'm pulling up the Blue Jays right now. Kevin Gossman. I think he has a no trade clause where the White Sox are on there, but maybe that was before him. You know, obviously they're not gonna go get Cease because Cease got paid, and I don't think the White Sox would pay for that kind of contract. Shane Bieber, I don't know. I don't know if I want that. So it's not Matt Scherzer's done, cooked. Yeah. So again, there's White Sox gonna have to do their due diligence and look at those teams. I doubt the Twins, the Tigers, or the Royals will trade within the division. But you look at the Angels, there's heavily rumored that Reed Detmers would be traded. He's got 3 years of control, so that means you're going to give up a good package of prospects. He would be a good number 3 guys to solidify your staff. So we'll see what Chris Getz does. The trade deadline is Monday, 3 p.m. Central, I believe. And obviously we'll be doing a live reaction after the deadline, obviously with 7:30 as usual on that Monday. So it'll be fun. Switching over to the Chicago Cubs. The Chicago Cubs took that last series against the Pittsburgh Pirates. They won 8-. I'm sorry, yeah, they won the series, but they lost yesterday 8-7. They put 11 the Saturday before and 3-2 on that Friday. This is a team that definitely needs pitching. It's been just demolished with pitching issues. They DFA'd. Where's my notes here? I have too many windows open. They DFA'd Jameson Taillon. That ship has sailed. So they really, really, really have to go get some arms. Where are they going to get them? Everyone knows they're desperate for some arms. And then on the other flip side of that, what are you going to give up? Is it going to be Matt Shaw? Is it? I don't know. I don't know. I mean, most of these players, like we've been talking about over and over, they have some no trade in their contract. You're not going to trade Happ. You're not going to trade Suzuki. You're not trade Horner. I mean, you're not trading Michael Bush. That's your first baseman. Is it going to be Pedro Martinez? Is it, I saw this on the DL. I'm sorry. There's really not much on the main roster that you can trade. I'm not too familiar with their minor league system and who they have down there that they would be able to trade, but it's going to be a tough thing. And I really think that Jed has an issue where he has to make this a team that's going to contend and get into the playoffs. That's going to be a hard thing to do. The Cubs are delayed right now against St. Louis, but they are 7 games back behind the Brewers. That's a problem. That's a problem that they're that far behind at this point after those 2 10-game winning streaks, and still that bad. I mean, they've been playing 6-4 in their last 10, but they're 59-46, 7 games right behind the Brew Crew. I don't see where Jed and Carter Hawkins, who don't even know what he looks like, never seen him, can't pick him out of a lineup. I don't know what he's going to do, but I really do think that if he doesn't pull Houdini and get some assets to help this team, he will be fired at the end of the year. I really think they need someone else. And again, I know a lot of these names that are on the main roster are going to come off the books next year. Sayers will be off the book. I think Horner might be off the books. There's like 3 or 4 players, so a lot of money is off the books next year. But that means there's going to be a lot of holes on your team next year because I don't think they have the prospects that are ready to go and start contributing to the Major League Ball Club. So that means you have to look outside in free agency, assuming we have a season, right? And you're supposed to host the All-Star game next year. You don't want to have a trash-ass team and host the All-Star game. Okay? You want to be in the hunt. You want to be playing really good baseball and contending on the year that you're hosting the All-Star game. So there's a lot for the Cubs to be doing. Jed Hoyer's got to make one blockbuster and some deft moves. So I understand why teams wait till the last minute, trying to get the best deal, see who's desperate, who's going to give you the most. But he should have been on the phone months ago, replacing some of these players. On the good side, Pete Crow-Armstrong continues to do his thing. He is definitely going to be in contention for MVP of the NL. And I know it's going to be him and Shota, but Shota's like one injury away from. No, I'm sorry, not Shota. Shohei, because he's not pitching right now. He's one injury away. I mean, everybody is, but what I'm saying is, he's got a shot. So if you got a little change to make a wager that you're not afraid to lose a little money, $5, $10, I'd put it on him. I know that the odds have come down dramatically since the beginning of the season, but PCA is that dude. PCA is that dude. I'll pull up his stats right now. He's got a 6.5 WAR. A 6.5 WAR. So that means he's winning you 7 games. He's batting .290. He's almost at 300. He's got 70 runs, 60 ribbies, 26 stolen bases, and 23 home runs. That is MVP type numbers. Literally carrying that team on your back. They're still delayed. All right, so Jed Hoyer, you definitely got to go get some bullpen depth. You've got to get yourself another starter. Justin Steele's probably not pitching at all this year. I don't know what you're going to do with the lack of depth in your pitching staff. So the big question for me is, who's going to have the better record at the end of the year now? Will it be the White Sox or the Cubs? I know I think if I remember correctly, I might have said 78, 79 wins is what I'm aiming for the White Sox, but they could win 90. I think I had the Cubs at 90. I said 89 or 90. Which team can get to 90? Which team do you think has the capability and has a higher outlook this season? It's going to be the White Sox. And if they actually add Sandy Alcantara, who's not having the best season, okay, but he's still a veteran that you can add into the rotation that doesn't really have to put that much pressure. Also, the Marlins do not have great defense. And what's the kid from New York? He's on the chopping block. You can look at the Giants. Look at the Mets right here. That's what I wanted to look at. Players. Freddie Peralta. Again, also not having one of his best seasons, but the New York Mets are trash. They can't play defense either. So it's going to be an interesting week of moves. What will each do? But again, I still propose that question to you guys. Who finishes with a better record, the Cubs or the White Sox? And you can clip that real good. All right, I'm gonna take a quick break, and on the flip side, I'm gonna talk a little bit of Bears, Bulls, and Blackhawks, and then we'll get in and out. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for chiming in. Stay in the chat, be active, and I'll right back after a word from our sponsor.
Hey there, Chicago enthusiasts. Are you ready to take your fandom to the next level? The True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast has got you covered with some serious cool merch that screams Chicago pride. From cozy sweaters to trendy tank tops, we got it all. Show off your love for the city with our iconic red, white, and blue logo, or stand out with our exclusive collection for the love of sports. Whether you're lounging at home, breaking a sweat at the gym, or cheering on your team at a game, our gear is a must-have for all you diehard Chicago sports fans out there. Don't hesitate. Visit bonfire.com/store/606-media-store/, or simply just click the link in the description and snag your gear ASAP. Get ready to make some noise, show your pride, and embrace the Chicago spirit with True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast merch. Designed for you, the ultimate fan, for the love of sports.
Welcome back to the True Chicago Sports Fan Podcast with Big Z. And it is time to talk about our favorite football team, the Chicago Bears. That start training camp this weekend coming up. And again, it's the preseason before the preseason, right? So how much excited are you? I'm excited. But here's the thing. I'm still focused on baseball, on our two baseball teams, trying to get to the playoffs. What are they going to do? That's my main concern right now. Do I like that Bears season has started? Yes. But until the preseason starts, the games start, I really think that if you're not a baseball fan, then you're into it. And if you're a baseball fan, if that's your first love, you're like, I can wait. Also, that means summer's over. And for me, summer being over is a big deal because then I go back to work. So it is huge. The Bears are coming back. They're arriving. Caleb Williams is going to be year 2 of Ben Johnson's offense. There's going to be some position battles and on the offensive line, defensive line. There's a lot of positions that are already set. So it's not like we're watching the hard knocks and, this quarterback's going to beat this quarterback. We don't have that issue. We have our franchise quarterback. We have 3 good tight ends. We have 2 good running backs. We've got 2 really good wide receivers right now. All right, who's going to take the 3rd and 4th spot? That's going to be one of those position battles, right? The secondary. That's going to be the issue. Is it really that good? Is that secondary really that good? And it's going to have to be because there's not going to be that much of a push on the defensive line. No one expects it because they made no acquisitions there to bolster it. They didn't draft. It's mind-boggling what they have not done on the defensive line. It's crazy, and we're gonna continue to beat that drum until it breaks over the next couple of months. But it's a frustrating thing. Because you're going to be putting a lot of pressure on those guys in the secondary, those linebackers. If that front line does not put pressure on the opposing quarterback, it could be a long season. And I know myself and Ivan did a game by game prediction on what it's going to look like. I'll pull that up right here. Ivan had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I had him 11 wins. Is it early to do those type of predictions? Yeah, super early. They supposedly have one of the hardest schedules. But it really doesn't matter right now. It may be the hardest schedule on paper, but when you're playing a team that might have a significant injury to their quarterback or to their Pro Bowl linebacker. Those things tend to change the narrative at that point. If a team goes through a rash of injuries, now you have an easier road. The Patriots had the easiest road over their entire season, all the way straight to the Super Bowl. That's the way the ball bounced for them that year. So again, it's football is very finicky, and right, I think Ben Johnson is going to be adding more, making the language, the verbiage, the culture a lot better. These guys are all going to be year two. Most of the veterans are going to be year two with him. The rookies are going to, I would say, take about 3-4 games, just like Bears did last season. They took 3-4 games for them to get their footing. So it's going to be fun. Unfortunately, I didn't get tickets. It's the hardest thing to do, either through the bots or whatever happened with that. But the ability to get tickets for that was almost impossible. All right? None of us got it. Not me, not Ivan, not JC. So it was a hard ticket to get. So again, they need to fix that. They need to do some practices at Soldier Field or the new Northwestern Stadium. Bigger venues than Hallis Hall. Hallis Hall cannot handle what the demand is now for the Chicago Bears. That needs to be fixed. Transitioning to the Chicago Bulls. And really, there's not a lot of news here. Obviously, Summer League is over. It's, setting the expectations, looking at the young core, what they're doing. Caleb Wilson already all over the place. What do we got here? We got a comment here. All over the place. What up, Crooked Commish? Definitely glad to have you on, brother. The Bulls, again, they're going to have an infusion of young talent with Matas, with Buzelis, now Caleb Wilson. They've added a couple of veterans, but it's really going to be what Tiago is going to institute as the system. Who is rounding out his coaching staff? He says he wants to play up tempo. That's great. So did Billy Donovan, and look how that ended. Restricting guys from taking mid-range shots. That is so mind-blowing. Obviously, because I came from the Jordan era when that's all it was mid-range shots. I get that. But when I coached, I don't mind taking the three. If it's within the system of the play that you're running, with it in rhythm. But if you're just running right after the half court line and just chucking a three for no reason, you've got no rebounding. It's going to take you out of position. It causes a fast break. Also can cause you to make an unnecessary foul. So while I do enjoy the faster pace, I do want to see them. Let's set up the play. Let's see, feed the hot hand. But I also want you driving to the hole. You've got to put pressure on those teams because in the NBA, you can't be touched. You're allowed to travel, allowed to carry the ball. You might as well take advantage of going to the hole and putting those guys in foul trouble. We'll see what kind of revamp, what kind of rebuild, retool, whatever you want to call this, for the Bulls is going to look like. That season starts late September, early October. Preseason should be coming around the corner as well. Again, Chicago sports are back. Everything is lining up for Chicago to be the number one city when it comes to sports. Your Bears should do very well. Your Cubs and Sox are should be in playoff contention, right? The Bulls are in a rebuild. They could sneak in as an 8 or 9 seed and get some playoff experience. I don't want them tanking. You've got a lot of talent, a lot of young talent to be able to get there. So will they? I don't know. Speaking of teams that are rebuilding, the Blackhawks. Bringing back home Showtime, Patrick Kane. He's going to be here. And I know he's going to be playing 20 minutes, 15 minutes a game. but he's still very skilled. They added some defense to help out your goaltender. Bedard will be back in 4 months, so you're looking at maybe January. They can push for a playoff spot. Now you got two guys who are great stick handlers, very fast. And Patrick Kane's not the fastest. He's not, he's a little slower and grizzled, right? He's not the Patrick Kane of own, but if he's got to take a penalty shot, if he's got a breakaway, the boy still got some skills. All right. Yeah, crooked. The Bulls should be respectable and happy to see Kane. The Bulls are going to be respectable just because they brought him out a whole different culture, a GM and a president of operations that you can tell they weren't playing around during the draft. They're like, no, we're drafting this guy. This guy's he's a game changer. We're getting rid of some of these second round picks. If you're dead weight, get out. And I really think that Patrick Williams, if he doesn't shape up, they're going to ship him out or just DFA him. And yeah, Kane in that jersey, it was hard to watch. Hard to watch. I really expected him to go to Buffalo, which is his hometown team, but he came back home to be able to help out the organization, try to win another championship. That's what he's here for. He's not here for the skate around the rink and just wave his hands and say, "Oh, I'm here." Not Jimmy Dugan. All right. He's here to actually give you some points on the board, whether it's through assist or goal scoring. So I really think the Hawks should be competing this year. And that'll take us all the way. Every single one of our teams will be competing at least to the playoffs, right? Getting into the playoffs. So it looks like we might be entering our golden era in Chicago when it comes to our sports teams. It should be fun, okay? So, what you got there? Oh, yeah. No, I think that's a troll. I think that's a troll because he literally said he's done with basketball. He did. If you don't know, D Rose is on the cover of NBA 2K as a legacy player, and he had the unveiling and some kind of event at Navy Pier, and he was giving out roses to everybody. He was even asked about the whole LeBron thing. He's like, "Oh, that's cool for him. I'm no longer in basketball. That doesn't concern me." Yeah, I think you're being trolled. I think he'd be great. He's great with the kids. I don't think him being a coach would be the best idea. Leave him as an ambassador and leave him there. I really don't think you need him doing anything else. Let Tiago put his stamp on his team now and build a winning culture without any distractions, I want to say, because I really think it would be a distraction to have Derrick Rose on the coaching staff just because he was a former MVP, people are going to be like, "Oh, really? You're at the end of the bench coaching?" I don't see that. I really don't see that. But even the Fire, I think the Fire are still in third place. I know they lost their last game. Robert Lewandowski made his debut, but they lost. Excuse me. But again, that's a team that's up and coming too. So the golden era of Chicago sports has begun. Oh yeah, definitely too good to be true, man. Definitely. Let's see. I think I pretty much covered everything. The boys didn't show up today. I think Ivan either overslept or forgot. I don't know. He's probably working. I know JC's working because he is taking this. He's got something this weekend. So we will be on air next Monday, right after the trade deadline. We'll get all that news to you. If anything breaks with the trade, I would jump on and get that all to you. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a quick in and out. No real headlines today. The White Sox are still up 3-0. I think the Cubs is still delayed. Let me double check for you. Yep, still delayed. Yep, still delayed. There was a lot of rain. We had like 2 monsoons come through Chicago in a matter of like 8 hours. So it was definitely they need to let that grass air out, let it drain. But it was good to jump on. Thank you, Crooked Commish, for jumping on, helping out, and everyone else that's been watching, subscribing, and supporting us. Thank you for all that. Remember to check out 606 Media for your ultimate source for everything that we do. All 3 podcasts are on there. Our merch is on there. And remember to subscribe. Helps us out. All right. If you got any questions, you want to discuss anything specific, you can email me at truechicagosportsfans@gmail.com. All right. So I'm jumping off. It was a short one because there's not really a lot of stuff out there to talk about. It is kind of a dead season right now before that trade deadline. But I'm Big Z, and I'll see you next time for episode 315, I'm assuming. It's been good. You got something else? Check out True Chicago Sports Fans on the Facebook. I post all the latest news there, so check that out. All right. Until then, be good to each other for the love of sports.